Written in 1988, Siren Sheep's Exploratory and Constructive Hypertext by Michael Joyce focused on exploratory and constructive hypertexts and their ability to shape the audience's learning. Being a retired English professor at Vassar College, Joyce is also an author known for his criticism of electronics. His most popular books, Afternoon a Story, Residential Construction Academy, Plumbing, and Of Two Minds, highlights his knowledge in hypertext fiction and the exploration of technological mediums in a variety of industries. What makes Joyce's writing stand out is his ability to explore new modules of teaching in a multimedia world. This article is important to the study of new media. Not only does it speak of seeing hypertext as personalized, university-accessible softwares, but as systems of multitasking and rapid development towards a culture full of learning. Technology can be considered more than just a piece of equipment. With this new exploration in the medium, this creation holds a great opportunity for the transforming education system.
Hypertext and hypermedia can be regarded as examples of cardinal technology. HyperCard is a software application and developmental kit for Apple Macintosh. Hypertext tools can adapt to fundamental cognitive skills. In addition to that, they can promise to empower and enfranchise learning for beginners. Talking about the exploratory use, it basically means the familiar use of a hypertext as a delivery and presentational technology. Users must control transformation of a body of information to meet their wants and needs. Totally hypertext audience should be able to readily understand the element of a body of information. Facilitating exploration of information is what the exploratory hypertexts do. Constructive hypertexts describe a much less familiar use of hypertext as an invention or an analytical tool. The constructive hypertexts, unlike the exploratory ones, require visual representations of information, which are called topographic writing. The authors of this kind of hypertext are called scripters. What seems to me interesting is that the authors and the audience of hypertext can be considered co-learners, which means that they share a transforming interrelationship. It is needless to mention that all exploratory hypertexts involve shared mapping regardless of how transparent they are, and the role of constructive hypertext is to make transparent mapping visible, active, and personal for users. These types of traditional structures of hypertext can be perilous. Firstly, overpromising can be certainly problematic. It can cause problems like resilient software design, which is about handling failure that occurs in complex system landscapes, and ideally shouldn't be noticed by the users. This limits the validity and creativity of innovators. Second peril, which is more serious than the first one, is that it takes time to get used to and use form of hypertext tools, especially when used continuously. The challenge of hypertext to traditional structures can take on commonplace dimensions. Mapping of the consequent shifts intentionally into provisional organizational structures. Focus and phase can be used for cognitive mapping skills to help identify a network of interconnected plans, which can lead to sequence of goals and presented by a reader and eventually introduce a recursive notion of shaping. In conclusion, there are three sets of tools that can allow various menu commands to import and export text from word processors or outline processors. Powerful word processors often allow you to adopt command menu items to suit your preferences, provided that you work in a standardized environment.
The article, Siren Shapes, Exploratory and Constructive Hypertext by Michael Joyce talks about constructive hypertext and exploratory hypertext. This article was published in 2003 when the internet was fairly new, so the subjects they talk about today are already being used in today's times. Hypertexts are used for many helpful uses, especially students with their schoolwork. On websites they use for research, there are hypertexts that appear to help them get to the source of their information, or give them a tab of extra information without it actually being in the research that they are using. Hypertexts are, in a way, like a mind map. They can be used by giving text and information creatively on certain subjects and can help the students' minds and their creativity with school. This article does predict useful items for the future of when this book was published and the timeline of the written passage, which that future is now. These tools are already here today and are being used usefully.